Friday, I do something called the 5-star shout out.
I love to say this line. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in. You can't make you know what I'm talking about.
Well. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this Saturday morning? Glad y'all could be here with us on the side, Jawn. I'm excited for that. Chocolate Girl.
Hey, what's up, Dennis?
How's everything been?
Oh, everything's been great. I'm feeling pretty good this morning. It's Saturday, my favorite day of the week. And
That's
I'm
right.
just glad to be here.
That's
Oh,
right. We also have
how does Zara say it? I'm very happy to be here.
we also got a special guest in the building. We got Jonathan in the house. Jonathan Benton the third.
It's the second, sir. I ain't got no legitimate kids running around here.
What's up, JB?
How's everybody this morning?
Glad to have you.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. All right. Well, something I got to do first. Today is a very special day. Today is the CEO's of Sam Sports' birthday. BJ, Brandon Samuels. Happy birthday. You're almost 40. Well, you look 40, but,
look
damn,
50.
sir.
You
ain't
50,
got to do them
actually,
like that.
But quiet as it's kept.
You look 40. But happy birthday to you, good brother. Hope all is well. Yes, hope you get everything you deserve today, sir. But I need to know, how was your week? Jonathan, we start off with you because you are the guest. How was your week?
My week was actually pretty good. Going back through school again and things like that. It's been a bit of a challenge, but I'm navigating it as best I can. No real complaints here because things could always be, worse than what they are. So, everything is everything as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Chocolate Girl, how was your week?
My week has been fantastic, actually. The usual ups and downs, but I'm resilient. I don't know. For some reason, this week I feel like Superwoman. Wonder Woman. That's it. Wonder Woman. I feel like Wonder Woman. I just feel like ain't nobody check me today. Ain't nobody checking me. I just feel very powerful today. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. Yes, BJ, if you can get down here to Durham, Roof Chris is like 7 minutes from my house. So you make it down here, I'll take you to dinner. But I ain't going to Baltimore, not today. Not today.
Roof Chris,
man. They have some good prime rib, man.
Y'all some expensive players, man.
No, see, you got to catch it at the right time. You got to do it. You got to do it at happy hour from 4 to 7.
Okay.
They always have great deals between 4 and 7.
I know nothing about it.
6. 4 to 6. That's it. 4 to 6. All right, BJ. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting.
My week was pretty good. Pretty good week. I enjoyed myself. Had a good time. Yeah. Later on tonight, I'll be going out for a little bit. So J. Will said, you taking him too?
If you make it down here by dinner time, you got to make it down here. Dennis, tell them how you got down here.
I got down there.
You got to tell them. You got to tell them what to do. because you sure
Supposed to
made it.
play.
So let me, before we get any further, let me emphasize this. It's been 3 weeks ago now, Dennis, that you were here.
Yes.
It was the last weekend in June, and I can't tell y'all how much I appreciated him finally coming to see me, because the fellas have been saying, "We coming to see you, Miss Sharon." He's the only one that came. Other folks been to North Carolina 3, 4, 5 times and didn't even tell me they were in the state. I won't mention any names, but I'll just let that, dust that off my shoulder. I know y'all have love for me though, but y'all need to come see me in North Carolina. In fact, we need to have a meeting. Get Sam Sports, Stay Tuned, Ignorant Thinkers, Chocolate Writer. Just get all of us together and meet down here and have a conclave of our own in North Carolina. Jonathan, you coming? You can fly in for the weekend.
Especially if you're talking about Ruth's Chris, and if it's your treat, I'm definitely there.
Oh no, look, if all of y'all ends come, I ain't treating all of y'all now. If all of y'all come, y'all need to treat me. How about that? But I will cook a nice dinner for y'all, one big one. My sister helped me out. I have her make the blueberry pound cake. That's her thing.
Oh, shucky, quack, quack.
Good morning, Marcus. BJ, Leon, Priester. Are you first time viewer, Leon? I think Leon might be a first time viewer. What's up, Jay Will?
It's my first time seeing this comment.
Yeah, you taking
Leon
folks to
said you
dinner. I'm
taking
trying
food
to
to
see
dinner.
something. Hey, Leon.
Right.
Now, if you came to Durham, I'm definitely taking you to dinner. And we're going to talk sports all day. Me and you.
Oh, shit.
That's my boy. Love me some Leon. Leon's the one that started the baseball group that I'm in. That's my dude.
Oh, shit. AB in the building. Oh, shit.
Oh, no. What's up, AB?
AB in the house. It's going to be trouble now.
Where is Kilo? That's what I want to know. Hello?
I ain't got an answer. You was waiting for me to answer.
Lakers for life. That's right, Leon. We both Lakers fans, y'all.
So y'all be all right.
All right. Well, come on down. AB, you can come. Yes, Marcus. Blueberry pound cake. Sheila's blueberry pound cake is the best. I don't know if she's watching, but I tell you, you and Kilo did a show last week. Oh, you got to send me the link on that, AB, so I can watch that. But in case y'all don't ever see it, Kilo's Corner on Wednesday night. That's my segment. That's my favorite segment of the show. Kilo's Corner. I miss Kilo.
You know what, Sharon? You ain't right. I just thought about that.
What?
Kilo's Corner is the only segment that Derek is quiet.
That who?
That Derek is quiet. That's the only segment
That's
Derek
right.
don't talk.
That's why it's my favorite segment in the show.
I just, man, now BJ, that's his superstar, Derek. So it's his birthday, so I ain't gonna say anymore.
He is on exactly the correct show. Derek is. Yeah, because every time I hear him talk, I'm doing this to myself while I'm watching y'all. Every Wednesday when he talks, I'm just like. Anyway, we here. It's Saturday morning. It's the Side Jawn, y'all. The Side Jawn. Season 4.
Yeah.
4. Season 4.
Season 4. We're here. Episode 3 or 4. I ain't really count.
Oh,
but
no,
name of the show is called.
We up to
name
episode
of the show is called If I Was President.
Episode 10.
Yeah, name of the show is called If I Was President. During this time, I want to say it's been a series of events that went down. We had a former president get shot in the ear, not air, ear. A lot of people now got tape on their ears now. We also had a president quit. Now, I just got to ask a question.
He didn't quit.
Why did he quit?
I don't like that word quit. He didn't quit.
Okay, he stepped down. I say, you
Stepped,
know why I say quit, Sharon?
he didn't
Because we
step
had
down.
in Philadelphia.
He didn't
In
step
Philadelphia,
down.
we had
He
a mayor.
stepped aside. You see, words are important. He stepped aside, not down. There's a difference.
You remember that Ludacris song?
What, Dennis?
You
I
know I'm
know
gonna
it's a
say.
joke
You
in
know,
there somewhere. It's a
you
joke in there
know,
somewhere.
it,
What is?
it move, bitch, get out the way. That's what he did. Real for real.
Well,
He
that's what he
moved.
did. He got out the
He
way.
moved.
He got
He got out
himself
the way.
out the way. Y'all gonna be surprised to know what I think. But anyway, shout out to Marcus Betts in the building. Got questions for the chocolate girl. All right, go ahead, Dennis. I'm gonna let you know, Marcus, in this conversation.
Yeah, I wanted to know from y'all, from you and Jonathan, why did he step away?
Well, let our guest go first in his analysis.
Well, I don't have much of an analysis, but what I will say is that I think he had his mind made up some months ago, and I think he felt like this was appropriate because I think everybody looks at polls, including him, and I think he saw his numbers slipping, and I think even he would admit that he's in some sort of cognitive decline now. There's been speculation of Alzheimer's, among other things. I don't believe that's entirely true. Of course, we all know as we get older, things do tend to slip us, but they were a bit more. Uh, he was doing it a lot more, than most. So I think it was a brilliant move to wait until after the Republican National Convention to do it, because they spent all week bashing him, and he turned to say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm passing the torch off. So I thought that was a move of brilliance. But I'm with Sharon. I don't think he necessarily quit. He definitely stepped aside to say, hey, let somebody else who's younger, kind of step in and things like that, because it just wasn't going to end well for Joe. I don't think he would have made another 4 years, quite honestly.
Okay, chocolate girl, what you got?
Well, I have gone all the way from one opinion to the other in a matter of 6 days. It's been really something. After some conversations with some people. So here's what I came up with. So initially I was upset that he stepped aside. I was like, no, you need to see this through. First of all, let's go back before he made the decision. After the debate, all these known Democrats kept coming out in the public talking about he should step aside. He should step in his campaign. First of all, that was their first mistake. This is me back then. That was their first mistake, because you never see them Republicans ever break ranks. You don't ever see them break ranks. I don't care if they don't agree with the food. They know you're food. They're going to rally around that food and win. That's what the Democrats need to learn how to do. No, they
I agree with that.
always got to come up and be honest. I got to be honest. You don't have to be honest to the public, fool. This is politics. You don't have to tell the public everything. You don't have to show your hand. So I was really pissed at first when they started saying all these things. And I was like, look, the man is however many age old. He's old. He's going to sound like that. His mind is still good and he can still run the country. And I can pull out a whole list of stuff that he's done right these last 3 years. And Kamala was right there helping him do it. And so was his cabinet. A president is never unilaterally running the country. It takes a team, and he has one hell of a team. That's just it. He even has some Republicans on his team, quiet as kept. So it's not like he's running it by himself, and just because he can't put two words together that his mind is feeble and he can't run the country. That's bull. But they came out. So then after they came out saying stuff, and he makes the decision to step aside, I was still mad at first. But then I had to take a step back and think about this. We are talking about Kamala Harris. And I had to think back to 2020 and all the wicked shit them people said on the other side about her, right? And some people within our own party saying the same crap, to be honest with you.
They still they
And
still saying it.
yeah,
California people feel that way about it.
yeah, some California people, not all, but a lot of them. But she won her election, so she was doing something right. But anyway, so I've had to think about the things that they were saying about her and how they were able to twist things around. And with women, when women run for office, not only is our mind questioned, but our chastity is always questioned. It's not fair, but it always is. Sex always finds its way into the discussion when a woman runs for office. It's ridiculous. It's sexist, it's unfair, but it's true. It happens. And I'm a realist. I've talked to you many times about this, Dennis. I'm not about utopia and how it should be. I'm about what is and how it is. And the way it is very unfair against women. And I said, you know what? I had to think about this whole scenario because this time last year, Biden wasn't showing all these signs last year. And I know dementia up close and personal. My father had it. So I watched
Right,
him
I
go
do
through
too.
it. And I did not see there's certain things in his behavior. And then I started thinking, I remember when he ran as a one-term president. He said then he only wanted to serve one term while they got somebody else ready to take the reins from him. He said that last campaign. And I had to think, I said, you know what if they did this on purpose? What if he ran for re-election, which people were shocked because he said he wasn't going to, remember? And what
He
if
also
he
said he
ran for
wouldn't run for president.
re-election and he took, like Jay-Z, I did it so you didn't have to do it. Like he took on this campaign and let them take shots at him all this time up until their convention. So they would not have to talk about Kamala. Kamala is her name. That's how you say it, Kamala. People calling her all kind of crazy stuff, but it's Kamala. And I'm like, what if they did this on purpose and this was their strategy? Let them take shots at me and waste all their campaign finance on me, and then flip the script right after their convention, and then we can ride on out. Now, people are not aware of this. All that money that Biden raised goes to Kamala because her name was also on the ticket. So she gets all that money. She gets all the money legally. It's hers. Okay. So this is smart. If this is what they intentionally intended to do, this is actually brilliant. Because now they have less than 100 days to attack her. And they had no plans to even talk about her. I mean, no primary needed. That's right, Marcus. I mean, this really could be brilliance right here. I doubt it. I doubt if this was really their intent, and they're just scrambling, and they're probably just scrambling because the Democrats have been very disappointing to me in their strategy as of late, really since 2008. I mean, 2012, really. But yeah, so that's what I think. I think it was a brilliant move if this was their intent. Because it was really wild how the day his announcement came down, millions of dollars was raised instantly within hours for her. All
I
these
think it was
meetings.
last time I looked, it was about 20-some million.
No, that was the first day.
Mm.
The first 2 days. I'm sorry, the first 2 days. It's more than that now.
Mm.
And they put all these meetings started appearing. I started getting all these text messages, go to this meeting, come to this meeting, because I'm in the party pretty good. And it's just been really interesting how that flowed. And I'm like, this might be brilliant. But I will tell you, by the third day, I am convinced she could win. She seriously could be the
Okay.
next president of the United States. That's where I'm at.
Had to had to rub in on you.
It took me a minute to get there. I had to have some
Okay.
conversations, and I had to look at some data. And since the first day of the announcement, over 100,000 new voters were registered in key states, including North Carolina, including Ohio. And I know about Ohio because 45 Problems running mate JD is from Ohio. He's an Ohio politician, and he's very hated. He's hated amongst his own party. I mean, when I tell you he's a lying scumbag, he is a liar. He's a known racist and very clear racist and a sexist. And he couldn't think his way out of a paper bag. He served in the armed forces. Thank you for your service. I respect him for that. But beyond that, he's a piece of crap. That's what he is. And he doesn't deserve to be one step away from the presidency of this country.
I thought, sort of like you, that they should have done this a little while before this, just to give uh, President Harris a better chance to win. But now that you said what you said, that do make a little bit more sense
Mm-hmm.
because your
They
focus
already
was on
had
one
this
person.
this stuff is the organization piece is what I'm talking is coming down the pipe so fast. I said they had to have some of this figured out ahead of time. Ain't no way in hell they
And
could have done all of this that quickly. What I'm seeing was flying across my desk. It's been a lot.
man, I was sitting here thinking about it, and I was like, I was still thinking in my head, like, why did he quit now? I just kept saying, why did he quit now? But when you look at it different ways, some ways it seems good, some ways to me it seemed bad the whole time. But I'm not 100% upset. I'm actually excited because at currently constructed, we have a black female president as currently constructed.
Yeah.
So
And
I've
people
lived to see two black presidents and a female president.
now here's another problem. So you got some of these progressives. Marcus loves that word, I'm sure. Progressives and some libertarians out here pissed
Oh,
off because they're trying to say that the Democratic elites are telling us who our nominee is going to be. No, they're not. Nobody has appointed her. There's been no appointment. No one can appoint her as a nominee. But they're putting this crap out on social media. And of course, the people who hate rich folk anyway are eating it up. Oh, here we go. The Democratic elite. Oh, you know who they are. Oh, this, oh, that. No. The delegates from the states who have all put their commitment behind Kamala Harris have done nothing wrong. All they have said is that at the convention, she's going to be nominated from the floor. There's nothing illegal about that. And talking about but the people aren't having a say. Yes, they did. When you elected Joe Biden as a nominee for president, you picked her for president because all he had to do was die and she's president.
that's it.
I mean, that's it. Die or step down. She's
Let's
president.
step down.
There's no election, there's no debate, there's no campaign, no caucus, no primary, nothing, because she's vice president. So you've already voted for her. When you vote for one, you vote for the other. So this nonsense about, oh, the Democratic elite is trying to force her on us and we need to have a say. Shut the hell up. You've already had your say. And if you didn't go vote in the primary, that's on you. Your ass need to be at the poll voting whenever there's an election of any type. I don't care if it's for dog catcher. Your ass should be in the booth voting. And if you're not, I don't want to hear from you. Zip.
I agree. Let me just say that I agree. This is what you voted for. When he picked his running mate, you agreed with it. This is it.
And
I
she
not
ain't
to
no
say I'm
joke. Let
representative.
me tell you something. This girl's, I was not very impressed with Kamala Harris from the beginning. I have to admit that. I have to acknowledge that. And just to be transparent with the people, I wasn't that thrilled about her when he named her his running mate before he got elected. I wasn't that thrilled at first. And then after they won, I was like, she just laughed too much when they're trying to be serious in these debates and in these press conferences. She laughing too much. She needed to look more serious. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe that's just her way. That's probably the way that she got people as a prosecutor and as attorney general. She probably baited people with the all shucks and smiling. You know how women got to smile all the time. We got to smile all the time and look pretty. We can't look serious and masculine, right? So she probably did that, and that made her job a little easier. So she carried it to the White House. There's nothing wrong with that. I had to get used to it at first. But now, 3.5 years later, knowing what I know about how much hand she has had on policy and the way that she played it behind the scenes so as to not disrespect the president, she did everything right. She did the same thing Biden did when Obama was president. The same thing. Everybody thought Obama did everything unilaterally without Joe Biden. That's not true. Joe was in charge of a whole lot in his administration. So, well, you and Jonathan got to talk more. I feel like it's the chocolate show. So I'm going to shut up.
Well, Jonathan is here. Jonathan, do you believe in Kamala Harris?
No, I absolutely do. I'm of the opinion that uh, I think a lot of this was partly planned uh, within the party. I believe that the Democrats wanted Harris all along. They were just kind of hoping that since Biden said that he was going to be a one-term person, that they could throw her into the forefront and let her run. But I'm definitely of the opinion that she can win. She's definitely got some ground to make up as far as appealing to certain demographics. But she's got the excitement behind her. Um, in being on Twitter and things like that. You know, black women, black men, white women have raised millions for her. She's gotten endorsements from Netflix, so there's some real excitement behind her. She can definitely get in as long as she keeps her nose clean and doesn't, give in to a lot of the mudslinging that Trump is going to do and has done to this point. So I absolutely believe in her.
Okay. Well, Chocolate Girl, you already gave your thoughts on how you feel on Kamala Harris. I feel I feel the same way about Kamala. I do believe it, and I ain't gonna lie to you. It's mostly because she's a black woman. Let me be real with you. I'm mostly on her side because she's a black woman. I've seen what she's done, and I've seen why them people in California were upset. But she's the president now. I'm sticking behind her. I'm voting for her. I believe in her.
Well, can I say something about California for just a hot second?
Talk to me.
Most black people who do not like her don't like her because they say she locked up a whole bunch of black people. My first point I'm going to make is the black people that got locked up actually did commit crimes. That's one. Okay, can we acknowledge they actually did commit crimes? She didn't make them go out and commit these damn crimes. That's one.
Yeah,
Two,
that's called
two,
taking accountability. They ain't gonna do that.
yes, two, she locked up, it's anywhere from 25 to 35% less people, period, including black people, than the prior two attorney generals before her. Just let that sink in. Less. But y'all worried about what she did when she was attorney general. She step up, the black woman attorney general. Now she a problem. What was she supposed to do? Because she's black, she's supposed to look at these black people who obviously commit crimes and just let them go? That's not a progressive policy. That's an idiotic policy.
They even called her soft on crime in California.
Yes. How you soft on crime and then lock up too many people at the same time?
Too many people reading the internet.
Exactly. Internet justice is what I call it. And it's ridiculous.
That's internet justice.
Thing. That's the second thing. The third thing is it was Kamala Harris that started the exoneration project, where she made a whole project, a whole process of people clearing their records so they can go on and be productive citizens after they've served their time. She created that and started that. Thousands and thousands of citizens of California were able to get their records expunged and go get jobs, take care of their families, and be off the system, not on the welfare rolls, because of her program. But you whining about them niggas that got locked up because they committed some goddamn crimes. I'm like, y'all some ignorant ass black people in the name of being black. You gotta stop being ignorant. Stop. Go ahead, Jonathan. What'd you say?
No, I just say you cooking on this one right now, because any point that I could have made, you made it.
I have waited, what's it been, 4 years to talk about this almost? Because I've never had a public conversation about Kamala Harris like this. But I get sick of seeing it all the time. I get sick of seeing people, our people, vilifying people who have been standing in the gap for us behind the scenes. And just because it's not blatant and obvious and not in a TikTok video doesn't mean they're not doing it. And that's what bothers me. Get your ass off the couch and out of your cell phone and go get active in your community within the party. Then you will see who is actually working and who is not. Otherwise, shut the hell up and don't come try to talk to the chocolate girl about it, because I know too much. You're not going to do that with me. I know too much about what's going on, because I've been keeping involved since I was 10 years old, and I mean that literally. Ask my family. They'll tell you.
Can I pose a question to both of you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this past week, I've read a whole lot of stuff, and Kamala, has been getting a lot of pushback, especially from men, more specifically black men, who don't believe that a woman should lead for whatever reason, even though we were raised by black women. What are your thoughts on that?
You go first, Dennis. I gotta think on this a second.
I think it's BS. Like, and there's a lot of men out there that don't like taking authority from women as well. You also got to remember that. I didn't notice that until I started working in certain places and noticing that women was in charge and how men would act different when the woman's in charge than they will when the man's in charge. Whereas though they both actually do the same thing. But now you ready to, get in an argument with this woman, fight this woman. But when a man there, you just go ahead and you do it. First, I thought it was a black and white thing. Then I realized, no, it's a sexist thing. There's a lot of sexist people out there, and they are not willing to take charge from no woman. Sorry to say, I know a lot of black people like that.
Yeah. My sister always liked to, shout out to Sister Sheila. My sister always points out that there are more sexists in this nation than racists. And I was like, are you sure? Right. I didn't believe it at first. And I said, are you sure? She said, I'm positive. And then I had to go back and think about the history of this nation. Yeah, they brought us over here to be slaves, but they didn't even consider their own women. They're white women. Their own women they considered as property. Their own. How you consider your own women as property is beyond me.
A lot of people say, now I'm not saying this, but a lot of people say that's the reason that Hillary, wasn't going to be president.
Oh yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. It's more complicated than that with Hillary. But that is part of it. Yes. Because she's a woman and they were not ready. Well, we may be ready now because we had a woman vice president.
Right. And now a lot of them just gonna say, oh, it's forced on us. We ain't really even get a chance to, vote for her, see what her point of views is. Her point of views is the same as her running mates was.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but you don't understand that, they just threw her in at the last minute, and we ain't really want to vote for Trump. We ain't really. I'm just telling you the dumb shit they're gonna say. We ain't really want to vote for Trump, so we voted for her. But I mean, if they had a better candidate as a Republican, even though I'm a Democrat, I would have voted for somebody else. I wouldn't have voted for her. You get in these small conversations? This is the dumb shit they'll say in these small conversations.
Yes, it is.
You be sitting, you be like, really?
Where you get your info? I just ask them who raised you. First of all, that's my favorite. My favorite question. Who raised you? I think he got it from me because I've been saying that since high school. Who raised you? You've been, see, it used to be, were you raised by wolves? See, that's where it started. That's what we used to say back in the day. Were you raised by wolves? What the hell's wrong with you? Now it's just who raised you. But it's the same premise. Who raised these people? Where do you get your info? Oh, TikTok. Got it. That's the reason that TikTok is making people crazy. They're making people crazy smart because every time I turn around, did you see that thing on TikTok? It said on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, some of that stuff on TikTok isn't real. Do y'all understand that?
I know a lady, she probably watching right now. I know a lady that will come to me and say, oh, yeah, I learned this new thing on TikTok. I'm like, well, TikTok can tell you any fucking thing.
Anything. They eat it up like they eat it up.
Oh, I seen it on TikTok. That's where I got it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot on TikTok. But let me tell you this. There's a video on TikTok, a series of videos, right? And in the beginning of the video, you see all these people, they're like in an office setting or something. And all of a sudden they start getting up, looking out the window, screaming and start running away from the windows. And you see the outside, like wind is blowing. And then footage of a tornado comes up as if they're running from that tornado. But they're in like Asia or the Washington State or Iowa or something like that. But there's palm trees in the video flapping in the wind where the tornado is. And it's the same tornado footage. People are creating these videos and they're captioning a tornado in Iowa or tornado in Kentucky, tornado in Mississippi. And it's the same footage. And it's not real because they don't have no damn palm trees. But every time the video comes up, I click on it and look at it and laugh. And I say, people are believing in this happened in Iowa. And they don't have a bit of palm trees in Iowa. But it's on TikTok.
This is how Trump got elected. But
yes!
That's exactly why he got elected.
They had those videos of Hillary and Bill Clinton. They had the black people over in Haiti claiming that Bill and Hillary Clinton and their daughter and her husband came over there and raped and pillaged that country and stole all their money. And they were upset. They took money over there to poor people in Haiti and paid them to do these fake ass videos. And people over here, our people, believed it to be true. Later on, after they did that big investigation on the Russian effect, they investigated everything. And when the black woman did a report before Congress, they found the evidence that none of those videos were true. But guess what? Some of us still running around here saying that they did that. It was all a lie. And it was done by his campaign people. You got to be vigilant, y'all. Use your common sense. That shit didn't happen. You're talking about Bill and Hillary Clinton, who's been in politics for 50 years. You think they would be stupid enough to go down to another nation and steal all the money and think everything will be okay? He got impeached for getting head in the Oval Office. You think he gonna be stupid enough to go down and steal money from a whole nation?
Did he get impeached?
Yeah, he got impeached. They impeached him. They had the impeachment hearings, is what I mean. It wasn't successful. He didn't get impeached, but when I say he got impeached, means they started the process.
Okay.
Hey, Devon. I was like, who is that? I'm not used to standing up with his hat to the back. I'm not used to that. Hat to the back. What's up?
What's going on?
So anyway, yeah. So it's not TikTok. I use it for what I need to use it for, but I don't get all of my information from TikTok. I know people who go there and they use it more than Google.
Yeah, it's just entertainment for me. That's about it. Devon, you've been out for a while. Jonathan's here. I'm going to start with you from the beginning. It's just
First of all, welcome.
Yeah, why did Joe? Yes, I'm sorry. Welcome, Devon, Mr. TODT in the building, talk of the town.
Here we go.
Why did Joe Biden?
They gotta come back.
Thank you for the invitation.
What are your thoughts about Joe Biden dropping out of the race?
It was overdue. I feel like him staying in the race was very selfish. I feel like he didn't give his vice president a fighting chance to win this race. The race is pretty much over. Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like a lot of his tenure has been selfish. He spent an exorbitant amount of money and time dealing with things involving his personal life, including his son. It's taken a heavy toll on him personally. And I don't necessarily think that the commander-in-chief should have. I mean, I know you're human, but I don't think that you should have a number of dividing circumstances, if you will. So I think him dropping out of the race is overdue. Him staying in this long is extremely selfish. And even though I'm not a supporter of Kamala Harris, I do feel like she should have been given a fighting chance, and I think she's at a huge disadvantage right now.
So, do you believe in?
And who?
Kamala Harris, who's now our president.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Do you care to explain?
I think you invited me on this show for a reason.
I didn't know you didn't like Kamala Harris. I'll be honest.
Sorry, my son. Say that again.
I didn't know you didn't like Kamala Harris.
I don't know how. I've been in stark disapproval of her for quite some time. I'm not gonna. You never gonna. Hey, buddy, I'm on the phone. Okay. I'm never gonna. You're never gonna see me in a heavy support of somebody who built their career off locking up black men.
I told you, Dennis.
Yeah, Sharon did say that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She said those people deserve to be locked up.
Black man. She built a career locking up black men. When you first saw her on a public scale, she was Montel Williams' side hoe. Then she matriculated up to the older gentleman in Congress to get her name up to the highest point, and then she left him and moved on to her husband that she has now. I don't need to do any name calling, but we know what his ethnic background is. So I think I posted a video when she got elected, not long after she got elected, of Judge Joe Brown basically dismantling her entire platform. So I'm not going to stop, buddy. I'm not gonna slander her, and I'm not gonna tear her down, but I'm not gonna lie about it either.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
I also said during this week or during this time we have not been talking politics. Donald Trump got shot.
Did he?
What are your thoughts on Donald Trump getting shot?
You asking me?
Yes, Chocolate Girl. I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm just asking if you're asking me. I don't think he really got shot.
Oh shit.
No,
Who shot?
I don't. I think it was all fabricated. Um, and I believe that they let the chair of the Service resign, and she didn't have any idea that this is where the way it was going to end. I believe that they set it up that way, that they paid this young guy to be the fall guy. They had to shoot and kill him because he couldn't talk. So the one thing you do, if you're gonna murder somebody, you don't leave anybody alive to tell the story. If it's just you and one other person and you kill them, you make sure there's nobody else alive to tell the story but you. And that's what they did. They hired this dude. They said, you're gonna do this for the party. You're gonna we're gonna stage this shooting so he can gain a little sympathy from people and galvanize his followers. He goes, how do you get to the rooftop of an area right there at the rally and nobody catch you? He wasn't hiding. He was literally just sitting there on the roof. And two police officers, not Secret Service, walked up on him before the shooting, and they backed down. They backed away because he had an assault rifle. They just backed away. You think they backed away just because he had an assault rifle? No. They backed away because they were told to back away. No. No. And then they showed a bullet, the so-called bullet. And then all of a sudden you see he got blood on his ear and they're ushering him out in dramatic fashion. And then he come walking around with this thing on his ear, little bandage. And then you see them idiots at the convention, everybody putting paper and tape and shit on their ear to match his ear in solidarity with. I'm like, do y'all not see what's going on? He knows he's got a cold. All he got to do is sneeze funny. They're going to all start sneezing the same way like him. So anything that they can do to cultivize them more, they're going to do it. And the first thing out of his mouth after it happened was he vilified the Democrats because he said that we were behind it. The dude that shot him supposedly was not a Democrat. So what are you talking about? That was the first thing out of his mouth when he had that press conference. Well, this should tell you, we really got to gallop against these evil people because they're evil. They're just evil people. Whatever. I don't believe he was shot. Somebody got to show me something. I don't believe he was shot on purpose, if he was shot at all. I mean, I don't believe he was shot accidentally by somebody. I'm saying I believe it was all staged. Yes.
Jonathan, what you got?
Everything that Sharon just said is, I believe, to be 100% true. It was definitely a stage because I find it funny that in shots being fired, quote unquote, nobody moved. You don't see the crowd scattered, duck for cover, no nothing. Everybody's just standing
doing this fake stuff like
right. And then
you hear gunshots right in front of you. You diving and running. No, they doing a little fake, looking like Little Kim on stage.
And not only that, but to protect him, again, quote unquote, they're holding him up. What's the last thing you do with an active shooter? You don't dare give them an easy target.
Right. You cower down.
So many things don't make sense, and again, it just fabricated. But that's just my opinion. I digress.
Oh, and Jonathan, in the footage, when you see them carrying them out, they're not even in typical Secret Service formation.
Right.
They're not even in the formation that they usually do when they're protecting a person. I'm like, are y'all watching this? That's why I said I know too much. It's just crazy. No, it was staged.
All right. So what you got over there, Stanfield?
No, he think we crazy. He think we crazy.
I don't think he was shot. I do, however, think that something was shot and shrapnel hit the side of his face. I also think
yes,
the Democrats must be over there like, dude, you had one job.
Nah, we didn't do it. Mm-mm.
I think that was the Democrats' last ditch effort before they told Joe he got to go.
No. Democrats not gonna do stuff like that, Devon. We ain't trying to shoot nobody.
No. Hold on. Now, let's not act like the Democrats haven't staged assassination attempts that have failed in the past. Did you forget about Ronald Reagan?
No, I didn't forget.
Okay, so let's be clear. The Republicans, when they set up an assassination attempt, it's successful. When the Democrats do it, it's often fail. So I think we know who to call in the event that we want to get rid of somebody, and it don't start with a D. Pause. Anyway, that being said, I'm not necessarily, all jokes aside, I'm not necessarily sure if the attempt was a fabrication. With this particular situation, I don't think he was actually shot. I do think that he caught shrapnel to the side of the face.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I do also think that, well, I know for a fact that some of the people on, how can I say this without? There are people on his detail that don't necessarily want to be on his detail. So a lot of people feel like Trump and everything that surrounds him with pertaining to the presidency is pure tomfoolery. So they take it as a joke. What I will bring to your attention about the shooting is we talked about how the people in the crowd reacted. The shooter was exactly a football field and a half away. If you look at the reaction from the Mandalay Bay incident, which was roughly around the same place, roughly around the same distance, people in the crowd didn't start reacting until like 5 or 6 people were shot. So, and it was it's very difficult at that distance for people in the crowd where all the cameras are to hear a rifle of that size. It's not like he had a huge rifle, which is probably why he was unsuccessful to begin with. If it was an actual assassination attempt. That being said, I wish I could care. I mean, I wish I could care more, but if I'd be lying if I didn't say that I didn't laugh at it as if it wasn't being made into. If it was an actual assassination attempt, my heart goes out to anybody involved, including President Trump. But they made it into a media circus, so I can definitely see why many people feel like it's a fabrication, it's a hoax. And to your point, Sharon, I feel like they're trying to make him into a martyr. And yes. you don't have to, because his opponent is trash.
Well, so, I mean, that's here or there, but no, they still needed to make him a martyr because they want to show enough win this election. Right? They don't want there to be any.
Yeah, I don't think they want it to be close. You're right.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't want it to be close. They don't
overwhelming. Even so anything they can do to drum up all this stuff, they will do it to inflame it.
And to
and
that point,
inflame their base, they're going to do it.
yeah, to that point, Hillary Clinton overestimated her reach when she was running against Obama. So yeah, you're probably right. They probably not trying to take any chances. So that's a good point.
Yeah. And rest in peace to the guy who died, even though he's a supporter of that food. I still, feel bad for him and his family and people who knew and loved him and the other person who was injured. That certainly they didn't count on that. Right.
For sure.
Well, that's the reason why at his next rally, he's dedicating to the guy who lost his life. He's dedicating it to him. That was announced yesterday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't expect that. And I'm sure they're going to his family saying, hey, we didn't expect that to happen. Sorry about that type of thing. They'll probably give him some money and all,
Whatever the case may be, if it was a hoax and a setup, let me just say it was an epic fail on every account.
Mm-hmm.
On every account. And for somebody to lose their life in something like this, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Jesus.
So,
yeah.
If it was an actual attempt, then the reverse is true. So whatever the case.
Nah.
Welcome,
I feel like Biggie Smalls. Who shot you? No, I feel. Who shot you?
No, you didn't bring that up. What's the next question, sir?
Well, one of the I only got two left. All right. Do you think it should be an age limit on running for president? Stay all. How you doing, baby?
Age limit on running for president. I don't necessarily think that there should be an age limit, but there should be a competency level, a continuously evaluated competency, a continuous competency evaluation throughout the course of your tenure. Maybe once every 6 months, maybe once a year, because I don't think that age necessarily defines how competent you are. I think we can all agree that we have 90-year-old people, and that we've known 90-year-old people that are perfectly competent. My grandmother is one of them. So I don't necessarily think you should put an age limit on it. I do think that there should be a continuous mental health evaluation for competency and sanity. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jonathan, where you at?
I actually agree with exactly what he just said. Although I do like the idea of age limits, especially when it comes to Congress, presidents, Supreme Court justices, and things like that. The idea of measuring for competency and sanity actually weighs much heavier, in that regard. So I actually agree with what he just said.
Yeah, I pretty much feel the same. I don't think it should be an age limit because, like Devon said, everybody's capacity is different and it changes at different ages, and you can't predict that. Yeah. So I'll just leave it at. I'll make my answer short and sweet. I kind of agree with what he said.
All right, I'm coming to you first on this, chocolate girl. If you was the president, what would you do?
That's such a huge question. It's a whole lot of shit I would do. Well, first thing I would do.
What would you base your platform on?
First of all, I would make sure that Roe v. Wade is codified so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay. Second of all, the whole amendments to vote, being black and voting and black and no slavery and all of that stuff, we won't need an amendments to be ratified and all that stuff for that. It's just going to be the law of the land, period. And just like, first of all, I created a word. I don't even know if this is a word, if anybody else ever use it, but you know how they have anti-Semitism as supposed to be discrimination against Jews. So mine is anti-Nubiism. That's discrimination against anybody who's black. Skin black, and you discriminate, that's anti-Nubiism. So that would be a word. I would actually make sure it's in the dictionary. And so that we can start saying people, oh, you're anti-Nubiism. You're anti-Nubi instead of anti-Semite. That's what you are, because the language is important, as I always tell you, Dennis, and it needs to be said. People are discriminating against us even more than Jewish people. I don't care what nobody say. There's not a place we can go on this earth that we're not discriminated against. Nowhere, including this country. So one of the things that I would do, make sure that anti-lynching is the law of the land. I know it passed and all that stuff, but it's going to be something that can never be overturned. So it's going to be codified, that type of thing. And affirmative action and all of that. Reparations, I probably would give out some of that. I would probably take a deeper dive into reparations to get it done nationally, because I don't care what anybody says. You got 600 years of free labor. Of course, your generations of people are going to be at an advantage over ours forever. That's just the way it is. And you don't like it, fine. I'm returning African American or Black history to the classrooms. None of this reserve it for the states bullshit. No, because your racists get in these states and take over legislatures, and this is what happens. That shit would be done. I would roll back Trump's tax plan that hit middle class people so hard and put money in the pockets of the wealthier, so the wealthier got wealthier. That would be changed. And I would have a more comprehensive plan to fight hunger and homelessness in this country. There is no way on hell on God's green earth that we should be the nation that we are supposed to be. And we have all these homeless and hungry people out here, especially children. And so as president, that's something I would tackle through Health and Human Services and the Department of Agriculture. Pull all that together and get the greatest minds on it, and economics people together, and figure out how we can better serve our most vulnerable. Take care of our home first. So the foreigners trying to come in here, I'm sorry. I understand everybody wants to be here. Give me you're tired, you're poor, you're earning to breathe free and all of that. That's awesome. We're all immigrants. I get it. But damn it, we got to get our house in order. We can't just keep shelling out money hand over foot for everybody coming here, free money. I would change that in some way. I'm not saying I would close the borders and vilify all the other countries as shithole countries. I'm not going to do that. But I will put America first in terms of helping our most needy people. That would be the priority. That's okay. The main things. It's a whole lot of, I mean, like I said, it's just like asking somebody, what would you do if you won the lottery for $500 million? That's a huge question. It's a long list. But those are the things that are most urgent. This racism thing, to me, racism is the number one problem in this country. Everything that you have wrong in this country, you can, if you peel back the onion, it takes you back. And at the basis of it, you'll find some degree of racism in there.
Racism will never go away in this country. This country has always...
No. I don't think it'll ever be eliminated. We can make some shit better. Damn. Yeah.
Jonathan, what you got?
Man, listen, it's such a loaded question, like Sharon said, but a lot of what she said is exactly what I would tackle. But to add to that, education reform, because boy, Trump getting into office exposed some of the dumbest motherfuckers we have in this country.
Yeah,
including him.
Yes,
education reform, make higher education more affordable, because Lord have mercy, you are spending how many hundreds of thousands of dollars on a 4-year degree, and you spend half your life, and maybe in some cases all your life, trying to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
So education reform would be one of the biggest things I tackle.
Okay, Stanford.
Is that all you would tackle, Jonathan?
No, that's not all. I'm trying to keep it short. I'm saying one of the biggest things I tackle would be education.
Mhm.
I have a problem with this question because in the short-sighted view, when you yes, buddy, when you evaluate this question, you look from the standpoint of what are your aspirations to make our country, our world, and our own quality of life a better place, right? But in the realistic view of this question, you can't do shit because of checks and balances as the president. You're really just a figurehead. And any measures that you implement and put in place outside of federal regulations that govern the Congress in and of itself, who implements their checks and balances on you, and outside of executive orders, you're not really doing much. You're really just the commander in chief of the military. So I have a lot of aspirations that I would like to implement as my first protocol as president. But from a realistic standpoint, I feel like there are measures that need to be taken into account specifically to just get our country back on track. Like we talk about education, like trying to make education affordable. Who's paying for that? Well, right now we are. We are the benefactors of a 21.3% over the last since COVID, 21.3% inflation that has taken effect for the last 3 years. And anything that is considered what we call a handout, meaning free education, meaning Trump giving out free money, meaning stimulus dollars, all of that stuff is stuff that we're going to have to pay for on the back end. I don't personally want to do that. I didn't even want Obamacare because I didn't feel the need to pay for people's homeless health care. So why the hell would I sign up for something like that? So for me, I think that, and let me be clear, I feel like although we are owed money, I feel like reparations is a piece of that. And yes. I don't know about anybody else, but I bust my ass so hard, I don't give a fuck about reparations at this point.
I don't either personally.
But I'm not going to sit up here and act like our ancestors aren't owed that money, but aren't owed that recourse. I'll say, I won't say money because there's so many different ways to administer reparations. I gave a plan 3 years ago, back in 4 years ago, back in 2019, going into 2020, that said, if you take the census over the next 3 years and you truly identify who's black and who's not black, because there's plenty of people that do the census and then they don't sign up. They don't sign up themselves as black because they don't want to be associated with our community. Well, fuck you. If you don't want to be associated with our community, then fuck you. But those people who do sign up on the census to be black, those people go the next 15 to 20 years without paying federal taxes. That's a form of reparations. So, and then that's a form of reparations where we're not putting ourselves in further debt. We're simply just giving people in our community a larger impact on stimulating our economy, and it's up to them to do it consciously. Another thing that I would personally do that I could have an immediate effect on, which is something that I do admire Obama for, is immediately attacking prison reform. There are a ton of people still locked up right now for marijuana. What the hell?
They shouldn't be in there.
So
they should be out here paying taxes like the rest of us. That's cutting into our tax base. You know.
And then I would, and
I agree with you.
To be perfectly honest, I would try to revisit truly taking care of our veterans and the people that are a part of our military, because they get shitted on so heavy, man.
Yeah, they do.
I hear horror stories about how people get out of the military and they can't get to the VA because their waits are like 2 and 3 days at a time, or they can't get access to their benefits. Like those are the things that I would have an immediate effect on. And then outside of those 3 things, then I would attack the Supreme Court, because anything else that I want to do, I can't do without the Supreme Court. And with 2, potentially 3 people leaving the Supreme Court, that would be my area of focus, to replace those 3 people so that I can have the backing that I would need to get some type of laws put in place and some type of checks and balances on my side to have a long lasting effect instead of just a temporary effect throughout my tenure. That's what I would do.
Yeah, let me say my answers were based upon having a Congress that can help me get those things done. Because like Devon said, president can't act unilaterally on anything. They have to have a Congress that will get these things passed. They have to have a Supreme Court that won't shoot them down. So, yes. So my assumption in that question about presidency is that I have those auspices available to me. And if I do, this is what I would do. In addition to what Jonathan said and what Devon said. And some more stuff. So go ahead, Dennis.
I agree with the whole veterans and VA situation. I've said it on this show. I don't think that there should be a VA. Nothing against the people who work for the VA. Nothing the VA. Nothing against the people that work for the VA. Nothing against the people that are putting a good job. And nothing against the system. I'm just saying that our veterans should be able to go to any hospital they want to go to and get what they need to get done. Because a lot of them don't even believe in the VA. They don't even like going there. Like some of them just go there to pick up their medicine. Remember I said that on the show? They just go to pick up their medicine and that's it. Like they really don't even want to be there. Like you was even saying your dad didn't want to be. He wasn't going to be there.
My dad never, not in my entire life, did my dad ever step foot in the VA hospital. And the VA hospital was literally 3 minutes from our door. 3.
I had a co-op at the VA, and my whole family's military, and my mom didn't want to go to the VA hospital.
Yeah.
So
my dad did.
They'd rather go to a regular hospital. That's why I said.
And to be clear,
nothing against the VA. I think the VA does. I've seen the VA take people who needed help and actually fix them. I've been around the VA for a while. Been around the VA for at least almost 10 years. So I've seen the ins and outs of the VA, the ups and downs, ins and outs. At the same time, I believe they go to a regular hospital and you could get rid of all them VA. That's what I feel.
Well, what else would you do besides VA? What else would you do, Dennis?
The problem is if you get rid of the VA, though, then you get rid of the government's ability to mitigate doctors' pay. You get rid of a government sector of healthcare that if you retire from government, you quote unquote retire from the military or go into the military, you quote unquote don't have any bills. You lose the ability to mitigate. So there's pros and cons to getting rid of the VA. But I understand where you're coming from, because the private sector is all about the bottom line, making money, and the VA is all about doing the minimum that they have to do to make sure that their people is taken care
of. But besides that, y'all hit on most of the same things I was going to say. So that was about the only. That wasn't even the difference. Everything y'all said basically the same thing I was going to say. I don't even know what my first speech would be as president.
Mine would be keep hope alive. I'll be saying some Jesse Jackson thing, man. Shout out to Jesse. He's still my hero. I don't care what nobody say.
I ain't shouting out that snitch.
I don't care.
Besides all that, we're gonna end this thing. Jonathan, you got any final words?
Hey, Dennis,
hold it. We ain't talk about Project 25, 2025.
We ain't talk about Project 25, and I meant to ask y'all, who would y'all running mate?
Y'all could talk about Project 25.
Oh, the running mate. Yeah, you didn't ask the running mate question. You had that as a question.
No,
yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
All right. Okay, all right, you did.
I asked on my question. I
Okay,
ain't got no
all
running mate.
right,
Since y'all
you
got
did.
questions,
Okay, all right.
since y'all got questions, how y'all feel about the running mate?
So, Divine, who would you pick for her running mate?
Who would I pick for who's running mate? For Kamala?
Kamala's, yeah.
If I had my choice, it would be one or two people. It would be either Andrew Yang or Condoleezza Rice.
No way. Neither one of them.
Two women?
Can't have two women. That's one.
No. Andrew Yang is not a woman.
No,
Condoleezza Rice.
Oh, Condoleezza
Rice.
I picked Condoleezza Rice. I actually feel like Condoleezza Rice is probably the most competent option for the Republicans to run for president, but she doesn't want any part of the presidency because of what Bush did to her. So I don't blame her, but I that's who I would vote for.
No, I mean, who should Kamala pick for her running mate? That's what I want to know. What you think, Jonathan?
Man, I'm definitely still undecided on it. I think Shapiro would be a good pick. Although there are some drawbacks to him. I think Mark Kelly would honestly make a whole lot of sense too. But to be completely and thoroughly honest, I'm not enthusiastic about any of her supposed final list. I'm not excited about any of them, quite honestly. But either Shapiro or Mark Kelly, one or the other.
Mine would be the governor of Kentucky. I keep forgetting his name, but that's who mine would be.
Bashir.
Would be him. Huh?
I think it's Bashir.
Yeah, that's it, Bashir. I've been following him ever since they had those tornadoes in Kentucky about 2 or 3 years ago, and that's what got my attention, and I started following him. And I believe that the person that she picks has to be a white man. I do. And I also believe that it has to be, yes. And I also believe that it has to be somebody who is engaging. One of the things that the data told us about the largest percentage of people who we got registered, those 100,000 people I talked about earlier, most of them were between the ages of 18 and 35. So they're younger. The person that you pick has to be able to be very attractive and engaging with younger people. So for me, that excludes a couple of people on that list because they're not as exciting, including my own governor of North Carolina, Cooper, which I love that man. That man is outstanding, very smart, very compassionate, and does have true love for all people. But he's boring. He's very dry, and he will not attract that demographic of new voters and also existing voters that we're seeing coming back to the party. So I can't pick my own governor, even as much as I love him. And I know she has a history with him. They're tight. But I still believe Bashir is the better one because of the policies he's put in place. He also won 2 elections in a red state, a known red state. He pulled it off twice. And he's able to attract people across some moderate Republicans and some Republicans over from 45 Problems in a way like no other, according to the data. So for me, it'd be him. What about you, Dennis?
Really haven't thought about it at all.
Okay.
But like your answer, really haven't thought about it. And Project 2025, since it's so talked about by BJ, people want to know about it. How do y'all feel about
BJ wants us to talk about it, so I'm not sure what he wants to say
and
about it.
It's his birthday. It's his birthday, so we're gonna slide today. But tomorrow, kiss my ass.
Well, the only thing I'm gonna say about it is it's a very dangerous document. If you read it, it spells out exactly what they've been saying they've been wanting to do for the past 15, 20 years. And it's really spelled out very clearly in the document, including they want to get rid of the Department of Education. They want to get rid of the EPA. They want to get rid of the FDA. They want to scale down the Justice Department and take some of their power away. They want to eliminate the Department of Homeland Security, just dismantle that. I mean, it very clearly is spelling this out. This is not Democratic rhetoric. It's in the document. It's there. Like one of the things that they want to do, one of the things they say, I'm going to read this to you. One of the things they say is that the National Weather Service and the National Marine Fisheries Service form a colossal operation that has become one of the main drivers of the climate change alarm industry, and as such is harmful to future U.S. prosperity. That's what they say. So you out here through the National Weather Service studying the weather so that we can warn people ahead of time before things happen to get out of harm's way. And they're calling them part of the climate change alarm industry and a danger to our future. So they want to eliminate it. People in the Midwest not going for that. Tornado Alley, we're not going for the dismantling of the National Weather Service. It's too many tornadoes that they've been able to warn people from and save lives with. They're not going for that. But if you put them in power, that's what they're going to do. And they have the votes to do it. This is what people don't understand. They still control the House. Just saying. That's one of the things they want to get rid of all these government agencies and put more of the power in the hand of the executive branch. If you guys don't know what the branches are, I'm going to direct you to Google to study it. But you can't get rid of checks and balances or none of this works. It becomes a dictatorship. That's it.
So to be clear, Project 25 is all about, the first step would be making every government office, taking away their civil liberties and making every government office a right to workplace. So you can get fired without question. That's first and foremost.
Without cause. Mm-hmm.
Without cause, without question. Then then the second phase would be implementing online hirings and using AI and other technologies to strategically evaluate your loyalty to Trump. In other words, you wouldn't be able to get a job if you had any red flags and weren't a loyalist to, let's just say, the commander-in-chief. Let's not even put it in Trump. And yes, that sounds very much like a dictatorship.
Because it is, yeah.
The likelihood of this happening is very, very unlikely. However, I want to bring to your attention that this initiative is being funded and backed by the Heritage Movement, which virtually has the backing of every conservative organization known to man.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing we know about conservative nations is they got money. So if you think that something like this can't and won't happen, you really should do your research. The last thing I'll say about it is I find it incredibly ironic that the Trump administration has now decided to try to distance itself from Project 2025.
Mm-hmm. We know why.
Which brings about the idea that maybe there are things within that initiative that even they themselves either cannot control or did not know about until now. So I don't have an opinion on 2025 yet because I don't know all the working intricacies. I've read several documents around it, but those are all surface level documents. They don't necessarily go into the details. I will, however, say that you probably should be very cautious about initiatives that you support blindly. Is that clear enough?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to say for me, I'm a part of two different groups. that have come together, and everybody in the group has taken a section of Project 2025 to study. And we meet we've been meeting once a week in each of these two different groups. They're two totally different groups. And I picked the education piece. So that's the part the education piece, and really what they want to do to the agencies. That's my focus in both groups. And
And
it's
they
been
did.
very interesting to hear what that whole document is saying. And in both groups, we're reaching the same conclusions because we're reading the same thing.
Let me ask you a question. Since you have that group that is evaluating that document with the initiative, who are the major funders behind that initiative, and who actually coined the document?
The leader of the Heritage Foundation.
And his name is.
I can't remember his name. You know, I'm bad with the names. I'm bad, but I can't remember his name. But I have watched no fewer than 10 different videos of him holding meetings and giving speeches about this document. It's like 10 different ones, right? And each time his rhetoric is alarming in the things that he is saying, especially about women and how they want to control women. He doesn't say, I want to control women. That's not what he's saying. But the things that he does say about women and what to do with their bodies and so forth, it goes way beyond abortion. This is what I'm saying. They're using the idea of abortion to frighten people and vilify people enough for you to vote for them. And then what they're going to do is what we see happening right now. That whole thing about abortion is going to get into IVF. It's going to get into ectopic pregnancy. It's going to get into cancer and uterine cancer. And it's going to get into all of that. Listen, the guy that's running on the Republican ticket in my state is a black man. And he said, when you get pregnant, your body no longer belongs to you. That's what he said from the podium. And so when North Carolina was on the list of people we saw, part of that 100,000 that signed up to register to vote for the first or some other time in a day came from North Carolina, I was ecstatic. Because some female Republicans are even galvanizing against him after he said that. It took them long enough to realize what he's talking about. But they finally have said, you know what? I can't sign on to that.
Hello?
And deciding to support Democratic candidates. So I'm just saying it's very their idea of what they want to do and control with women is just alarming. And it's like I said, it goes beyond abortion. It goes beyond having children or anything to do with reproduction. It goes into other areas. People really need to read this document.
Jonathan, what you got?
Devon and Sharon broke it down perfectly. I have not had the chance to read into everything in depth yet, so I only know what's on the surface. But I will summarize by saying this. If you think that Project 2025 does not affect you, it does. So definitely be very careful and mindful of not only the initiatives that you're voting for, but the people that you're voting for as well, because they definitely do have a giant say, and especially when it comes to conservatives and money and things like that, they have a very large say. So if you think it doesn't affect you, it does, and it will.
They want to dismantle the Department of Homeland Security, y'all. Do y'all know how valuable that department has been in preventing terrorism in this country? They have thwarted so many potential terroristic acts. They really have. It's not a joke, y'all. They really have. It's been a department since 2002. They want to get rid of it.
Okay. 900 plus
For
pages.
those that for those people that want to do research, you can go that want to do research on your own. You can go to www.heritage.org to do your own personal research. That's where I go to look up their information. And let's be clear about a few things, man. Again, I like to thank Dennis for having me on and Sharon as well. Uh, one thing that they referenced was TODT, and one thing that I was kind of diligent about when I was doing TODT on a regular basis was people doing their own research. I'm not a proponent of anyone taking my word or anybody else's word for information. We live in an information age, and everything that you need to know is available at your fingertips. All you have to do is want to do the information, want to do the research.
Yeah, I put that web address in the chat, Divine. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Oftentimes we do a lot of this. What we're doing right now is a lot of talking, and we don't follow that with a lot of action. And so, for those that are tuned in with the call, I would encourage you to do your own research, to put some of your thoughts and your concerns to action. I found out last week that letters still work. I
Yes.
sent a letter. I sent a letter to one of my aldermen and got an immediate response a day later.
Wow.
A day later, which is like after COVID, that's like unheard of, and especially like with the cyber attack that just went on last week with CrowdStrike. It's refreshing to see that people are, especially on the local levels, and let me be clear. All this talk about the president is great, but if you are not active on your local levels, if you don't know who your aldermen are, if you don't know who your fire chiefs are, if you don't know who your police chiefs are, if you don't know who your superior court judges are, and your magistrate, your local magistrates, if you don't know who these people are and are not engaged in these people and their platforms and trying to build a cohesive social and family environment in your own community, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice. Me and Sharon talk about even reaching out back to our alumni associations and talking to the people at our schools, because that environment is it cultivates the next generation of the people that we are ultimately going to have living in our communities. So those things are important as well. Yep. So I know it literally only takes 5 to 10 minutes to send messages to these people. The city manager of South Fulton, Mark Anthony Cooper, I sent him a message the other day. Got a reply back almost instantaneously. I got people in Tucker, people that's not even in my particular county. I reach out to them just to stay in tune on things, and sometimes they have information that other people are not privy to. John Funny and Brookhaven. So it's important that you know these people, and it's a simple click. Find your county officers, find the people that are engaged in your community, shoot them a message. They're down to do lunch. They're down to meet up. And you'll be surprised at how much traction you can get on a local level, so that you can actually make an impact where most people don't think you can do anything. That's all I got to say.
Okay. John, do you got any final words?
Man, get your asses up and vote, please. Exercise your fundamental right. I get that, people might not be excited about Harris or you despise Trump or whatever it is, but please, above everything, exercise your right to vote.
Okay. All right. Chocolate girl.
Shout out to June in the comments. What's up, June? Yes, I will echo what both of the fine gentlemen before me have said. All politics is local. You got to understand that. If you don't know your local people in government. You don't have to know them personally, but just know about them and what they stand for and what they're doing, and hold them accountable. Write those letters. I know a lot of places when they have like city council meetings and so forth, they're actually broadcast, they're actually streamed, and you can actually watch them from your home and make comments from your home if you can't attend in person. Access is just made too easy now to have an excuse not to be involved and at least know what's going on around you. Be involved. Just getting in a social media group complaining and talking shit about somebody and about their character or whatever, that doesn't help you in any kind of way. It doesn't help you, your children, or your children's children. Action is the thing. You got to vote and be part of the process. People who feel, I say this every election, the people who say their vote does not count, I challenge you to go read about the presidential election of 2000. And hopefully after you read about that, you will see every single vote matters. You just don't know when and how it's going to until you cast a vote. And people who are upset about the Electoral College, listen, we can't change everything overnight, okay? But the Electoral College is here, so we got to make it work for us. So if you are affiliated with a particular policy and you know what the Electoral College is, you got to make sure in those key states that your party wins so you can win the election. That's how it works. It's not just a popular vote. So when know who the battleground states are, you guys, because you may live in one. And that's all the more reason for you to get involved to ensure that your candidate wins that state.
I know I live in one of the battleground states.
Oh yeah, I live in two. I'm gonna say that. I'm from Ohio, and now I live in North Carolina, and they're both battleground states. So, yeah. So just be aware. Don't get your information from me or anybody on social media, YouTube videos. Do research, do real research from reputable sources, not Fox News, not CNN and MSNBC. Go outside of that. Get you some books. Read some real history. And with that said, just be involved, people. Don't sleep on it. It's too important for our future generations too. I got a grandbaby I'm worried about. I'm worried for him. I'm frightened for him. So
I don't live in a battleground state, but I live in a state of battle.
yeah, you do. Yeah. All right, Dennis. It's on you.
Well, only thing I have to agree with all y'all said. So listen, thank y'all for coming out today. God bless. Great day.